One more question.
Sorry, I'd like to say with Nosage Thing doing his set afterwards, I'm going to be doing a VJ jam with my friends from Vienna for Your Eye as well. So there'll be a kind of three VJs mixing visuals with Nosage, and yeah, that's exciting because it's improvised.
That's also my next question. How do you collaborate on stage with the other VJs? Do you one piece you and the next the Vienna DJs? The For Your Eyes is the name of the Vienna VJs, or do you work together really? How do you do it that it's not a messed up image war?
Well, you know, sometimes it is a bit of a mess, but a mess can be interesting and exciting as well. But actually, the three of us have a quite good understanding, and Jerry generally operates the mixer, I think. So he's kind of selecting the sources. And the last few gigs, we've done about three gigs together, and it's worked pretty well. But communication is always a good thing. It's interesting sometimes to watch people on stage and see if they're looking at each other and communicating, because that's what humans do. Communication and listening to each other and responding, that's what makes a group exciting.
And so one of my last questions, how much is pre-structured of your set? Because it's really very complex. Is everything from Ableton Live, or are there parts that can be shorter or longer depending on the audience?
So in the Energy Union AV show, it's pretty much fixed. I'm really just mixing some of the audio stuff, to be quite honest. Most of the visuals, they're playing out straight like a film. I can do live visuals as well, but I'm not doing it for this show. But then when we move into the VJ set, that is very much improvised. And Nosage has his Ableton sets with a lot of different clips. So he's quite fluid in what he does. And then with that, the VJ set to go with his music is quite fluid as well. So one set will be fairly linear, and one set will be more randomized and freeform. It's an interesting question, actually, because you will find this comes up in electronic music and indeed, you know, other types of entertainment. If you produce it all in the studio and you get it really slick, you can probably get it sounding better because you can get every little thing just right. But then you can't change it. And if you do want to react to the audience, you're very limited in what you can do. And moments of improvisation, moments of combination and magic are a very special thing. If you pre-sequence everything, if you prepare everything beforehand, you don't get those magic moments. And they're really, you need that to keep you interested and to give the audience something special as well. So it's good to have both chaos and order.
So my last question, definitely, can we do a little walk to the equipment? You just say one or two sentences to one or two phrases to every device. What's it for? Just let's start here. Desi, come around and let's film it quickly. So this is the VJ section for...
Yeah, this is For Your Eyes equipment. Now, I'm not so familiar with this, but it looks like a pretty... Oh yeah, React. This is, I think, designed for VJs. And it's got a bunch of triggers and a bunch of knobs. You know, most of these things work using MIDI. And it's interesting that MIDI's managed to stay alive all this time. It's not that great, but it does the job. And you can use it to control visuals as well. OSC is the kind of more modern alternative, but because everything works with MIDI, we're kind of locked into MIDI. So really, this is just a MIDI controller, but one designed for visuals. There's a Motion Dive, is a Japanese VJ software, and this is a special interface that was produced for that with like a DJ-style crossfader. Simple, but actually very effective. So that's running Motion Dive on this laptop. This is another laptop PC, and this uses Resolume version 2. Version 3 is an audiovisual tool, but this is just using it for visuals. Center, like a DJ mixer, this is a video mixer, and it can take 8 different channels, but just 2 at a time. Video mixers tend to be able to only have 2 or sometimes 4. But generally, because we can make submixes out of these, can have many layers on this, many layers on any other software. 2 is enough. And sometimes it's nice to have a camera to plug in. In fact, I must get a camera plugged in so we can feature what Nosage is doing and mix that in as well. So a monitor here, video output monitor, another Mac which Jerry will be using, and I think he uses Modulate on that, which is another VJ software. So these are different style VJ softwares. I use VDMX. So VDMX, Resolume, Modulate, and Motion Dive, and our own one, VJam, are 5 of the main ones.
From where do you start? Do you work with VDMX?
That's on my laptop, but it's not here because I've taken it out to do some more work in. So my laptop will be plugged into these 2 interfaces, as you said, Novation Launchpad. And I've configured this to use as a kind of dub mixer. So I've got 8 channels, and then I've got 8 different effects. And I can turn the effect on and off. Like some of them are sends and some of them turn the effect on and off. But that's basically like a dub matrix where I can switch in these different effects on the 8 different channels. And then I've kind of configured this Behringer, which is another controller, to be the effects controls for those. So like this is a kind of King Tubby's, now that's a reverb, this is like a King Tubby's delay, this is another delay, this is fuzz and distortion, this is gate, delays, and various other things. And then on the end we've got a couple of glitch plugins like Super Trigger and what's the other one? Yeah, Effectrix. So they glitch the sound up. So that's again the controller which controls my laptop in Ableton. And then DJ Mixer, really I'm just using one channel of that, but sometimes it's fun to funk around with the effects, and they have nice faders here so you can cut things in and out. They have 2 different types of effect actually. I like this bank of here. Pioneer have kind of really stepped up with the DJ Mixers nowadays, so I've been using their stuff for a long time. Also has MIDI output, so you can use that crossfader to control, for example, a VJ mixer, which is something we did a lot on the last tour. And then this is where Nosage things set up will be. This is his controller, Akai MPD32, based on the classic Akai MPC machines, which are kind of the heart and soul of hip hop. In fact, this Technics SL1200 deck and Akai MPC, that's pretty much the tools of hip hop. And
where's the notebook for that Akai?
It's just a Mac, which he's got at his hotel, so he doesn't get bored waiting for his show to start. And there's audio interface, M Audio. I'm using an M Audio as well. They're okay. And then over here, then a guy's going to be DJing, but he's using Serato off a laptop, so using time-coded vinyl on these 2 decks, and just a basic standard mixer. Although I see here that he's got a little Akai controller as well with some pads and some knobs, so maybe he's using that to do effects or maybe fire cues as well. Yeah, so taking DJing forward into the 21st century is what it's about, and also being able to bring your studio onto the road with you, because it can all go on a laptop with a controller you're rocking. You add the visuals on top, and this is 21st century live cinema. So you have 8 more shows, and you will certainly enjoy yourself. It will go through Europe, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Belgium. So have fun. You're going by train? I can't lie. I flew to Sofia, then I flew to Munich, then I took the train here, and I'm going to take the train back to London. Okay. It's like what we can manage. I'm as guilty as everyone. It's just thinking about your choices and see what's the best choice you can make in any moment. Okay. You're the judge. No one else should judge you. You know what I mean? Thanks, Matt Black. Thank you. Wicked. Cheers.